listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumpin' where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever.
I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. I never tried to get ahead of it. I just kind of live in the moment, see where he's at. But he's been impressive. I mean, just physically impressive to go do this. The fact that he's out there doing this, Tatum, doing his thing, it's impressive what these young men have done, the dedication they both have put in. But I've seen it up close with DeJounte, and he was ahead of schedule early on, but it was his will, his fight, his team. He was not going to be denied this.
Set it up with a shooter, Trey. And
taking every rep seriously, and it's amazing when the game's taken away from you, he's come back with this fresh perspective on life, on basketball, his love for this team, his love for this organization, a reset for him, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
You guys start with a small group, and then you go double big. What can you say about this team's ability to sort of shape shift over the course of the game? You know, you're switching everything, and then you play and drop. Just what kind of advantages does that offer, just being able to play two very distinct styles?
Yeah. No, that's a great point. Look, we have a versatility to this roster. I'm trying to figure it out as we go. It's got depth. It's got versatility. You know, we got a number of lineups we can play now. Multiple playmakers, handlers, scorers out there. So we're just trying to find the right mix every single night. But it's a luxury to have a roster like this where we can play multiple lineups and be so versatile. You know, and I think in general it's gonna be tough for our opponents really to figure out what we're doing, you know, to find a rhythm with this group. You know, we're more switchable, we're smaller, we're faster with one group. We come out, we're a little bit bigger, more size. We got to continue to defend better, though. It's one area we're leaning into. And as we all know, it's the board. You know, the rebounding is massive for us. So the smaller groups got to continue to rebound. I like that jumbo lineup as well. It gives us a couple different looks. And then it's my job within the game to figure out what's working and, you know, sort of ride that lineup as long as I can, and then potentially close with a different lineup. You know, we've closed with a smaller lineup in general, but I'm not afraid to go with a bigger lineup as well.
When Sadiq is just punishing mismatches the way he was tonight, how tempting is it for you to just
do it every time?
do it every time?
Well, we did it in Phoenix for a while. I mean, we started the third quarter, we went to him multiple times, you know, got us back in the game. And when he's in rhythm like that, and I think most post guys would say that, when they have that rhythm down there, you just got to keep milking it, you know, until they make an adjustment. But in general, we have found good stuff, whether he finds it or he kicks it out or there's some type of rotation on the backside. It's a great settler for us. So the players are telling me more than I'm telling them to go back to it. You know, they want to, you know, they're gonna ride Sadiq as long as they can. There was a moment there for Queen as well. Went to Queen in the post as well. But our guys are recognizing these moments more. They're figuring out how to play with each other, because if Murph has it going, there's an awareness to go to him. You know, if Sadiq's got it going or Zion had it going for a stretch there, they knew that we were going to, go back to it. So they deserve a credit on that. Hopefully I try to help them a little bit, not lose sight of that.
Just want to follow up on that real quick. Sometimes teams have a very clear hierarchy or pecking order in terms of who's going to get the touches, who's going to get the shots. What's your approach to that? Because right now you're talking about how the team is sort of self-aware of who's got it going in the moment, and they're trying to lean on that. Seems more egalitarian. Just, I guess, what's your overall philosophy on that?
Look, I think the best teams in the league, the teams that are chasing titles or winning titles or advancing the playoffs, they have a clear pecking order in general. The teams that I've been a part of, it was clearly Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker. And that order could have varied at some point, throughout a season or a different game, different seasons or different playoff series, or it could vary there. Our group, we're not quite there yet. We're trying to figure this out. I think right now the luxury is we don't really know and our opponents don't know. We're going to find the right matchup, and it's my job to help them find that advantage. But the guys are recognizing it and they're trusting it. It may not be my time. Let's, play through Sadiq here. Let's play through Murph here. Let's play through Zion here. Because I think the great players, when they find rhythm, they want to stay in that rhythm. And same thing as a team. When you find some rhythm, you want to stay in that rhythm. So I think we'll get there at some point. I think the luxury is right now we can play through a number of guys.
Quinn and Fears kind of had like opposite rookie years of normal. They played a lot out of the gates, and now we're starting to see a little bit more inconsistent minutes as the team gets healthier, veterans return. They both played well tonight. How have you seen their response to, maybe seeing the court a little bit less often?
Sure. Yeah, I think they have a great base for, they both started, played high minutes. They have a base for what this league feels like. And now, we've had some different lineup changes. And I think Fears has been fantastic, really, since we made the move. His uptick has been significant. I think his awareness of who he is, what we need, his role, decision-making, understanding defensively for him and for us to be successful, he has to be an anchor for us defensively, to be into the ball, to be a pest, to be a hound out there. And he's taking that challenge on. Queens has been a little bit more recent, and he's trying to find his way through that. And we have a number of bigs now. We have a number of guys we can play through. And Queen is one of those guys that we can play through as well. He's another fifth or sixth guy that we can play through, whether it's at the top of the key, in the post. And so he's working through that transition, but he's handled it, professionally, maturely. His response has been there, especially on the defensive end. That's where we're really leaning into. And he's learning. He's asking questions. I think DeAndre, just being that veteran presence for him, if he can lean into that, which he is doing, he's gonna take a massive step between now and next year. And so he's really proud of both guys. They've done a really good job of embracing it.
I know Trey came back out after going to the locker room, but just any concern with him tonight?
No, I think it was just a stinger, but I'll go back and make sure everything was okay. I didn't have anything of concern as of yet, but we'll get some more details. But I think it was just a stinger. So.
Coach, regarding DeJounte, does it feel like to you we're seeing actually the best of him? Because last year, we all know his story, had a lot of things going on off the court. Does it feel like to you, from your perspective, that honestly this is the best we've seen DeJounte just on the court because he's playing so freely out there?
He's playing freely. DeJounte's been an all-star. I mean, he's had significant years, but what I could say is to me, it's more the mindset where he's at, a mindset of gratitude. Like, it was taken away from me, and here I am. The gratitude to be back on the floor, to play the game that he loves. I think, there was so much even outside basketball that was going on last year. For him just to settle his feet now, be with his teammates, be in the city, embrace the city, and to be back on the floor doing what he loves, I think, I'm not going to speak for him, but mentally it's the best I've ever seen him. When I was around him early, he was a rookie, and there was a lot going on, and, I was pop on his tail every single day with Tony Parker, and, when I was around him early in his career, he was a much younger player. He's matured, obviously, over the years, and he's a wonderful human being, and you know, a lot of things happened last year, but he looks to me like he's free. There's that resiliency, but a spirit of gratitude that I get to do this. And there's nothing like that when we embrace our jobs that way. And I'm just really happy for him. Good. Thanks, everybody.
All right, shout out to the fam for all things Pelicans. You're now tuned into PPR Final, PPR Final in the building. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on social media feed, man. Much love. Big Q recapping this one, man. Pels crush Wizards 138 to 118, 20-point smackdown on the Wizards. That ends the regular season series with them. We crush them 2-0. And we get a much needed win as the Pelicans return from a 6-game road trip. They finished 3-3 on that road trip. They come home for 2, one of which they have this team, and they were able to smack them around and get them on up out of here. Now, listen, the Pelicans did start off they started off slow in this one, man. The Wizards made it a bit of a game at first, man, but ultimately the Pelicans did what they were supposed to do and really put this game over with and smashed down. Now, a lot of things happen. I'm not going to try to keep y'all too long in this PPR final, but the keys of victory for the Pels, how they handled this game. They were really good in terms of the interior scoring. The Pelicans crushed the Warriors in points in the paint, 72 points in the paint to 44. That's a huge advantage, overwhelming whatever Washington's interior defense they were trying to do in the game. The fourth quarter surge that they had with a pivotal 12-0 run in the final period. They had a consecutive 3-pointers. Trey Murphy was in there, and he helped to extend the lead and effectively kind of pushed the game out of range. They mentioned Trey Murphy walking off to the locker room, then he ultimately returned. Kind of had like a little stinger. They believe it's a stinger. We'll know for certain what that is between now, maybe by Tuesday or so. We'll get an update on that. But he did return quite quickly back to the floor, which is a very positive sign. So not bad at all. You look at the Pels tonight, they had some offensive depth, right? 6 different players reached double-digit scoring. We've seen Sadiq, what he was able to do. Zion, what he was able to do in the matchup as well. We've seen contributions from bench guys as well, like Jeremiah Fears. He was in there. We've seen Queen. Didn't do put on a mega show, but his effort was there as, he was going against his former Maryland Terp buddy in the matchup. And of course, these are the type of games we're supposed to handle business against a inferior team, right? And we did do that, and that's something to be proud of for the Pels as they reached their 21st victory of the season. That's right, fam. 21 wins. They're now 21-45, 12-21 at home. They do have 16 games remaining in the regular season, and I surmise that the Pelicans are going to have to win. Hey, man, they're going to have to get a lot of these games. We know they're not going to win 16 of them, but they got to get at least 10 of them. At least 10. I was saying to be between 10 or 12 of them to get close to getting any type of playoff situation. So they're totally healthy. And you heard Coach Borrego talk about him having to figure things out with 50-plus games that he coached the team. He has to figure out what roles these players is. And I hope he a quick study, man. I hope he, after he sleep, he take his ass down there and get the scouting reports together and whatnot, because you're definitely on the timeline for whatever you're attempting to do. That's positive as we get 16 games remaining in the rest of the NBA regular season for the Pelicans, man. It's now or never. Looking at the team statistics, fam, 47 of 89, the Pelicans were 53% from the field. The Wizards were 41 of 91 for 45%. The Pelicans were horrible from downtown. They were 7 of 23 shooting the 3 for 30%. The Wizards were 14 of 42 for 33%, right? So that's 7 more 3-pointers the Wizards hit over the Pelicans, but they made ground up. They were 37. The Pelicans had almost 50 attempts from the foul line. They converted 37 of 47 for 79%, while the Wizards were 22 of 27 from the foul line for 81%. That's a 15-point disparity, right? Between a shot between the two. at the foul line for the Pels in that way. 44 rebounds by Pelicans versus 41 by the Wizards. You look at the assist game. Pels 25 assists tonight versus 27 by the Wizards. Pels in double digits with the steals, 11-2, 6-3 on the blocks Pels way, and they were single-digit turnovers tonight for the Pelicans. It's been a while since we've seen our Pels have single-digit turnovers. They gave up 8 turnovers, 10 points off those will force the Wizards into 17 of them for 26 points. So that's a 16-point differential right there in terms of the points given up on turnovers. The fast break points all Pels 22-9. And like I said, the points in the paint battle, they dominated them 72-44 in the matchup. The largest lead for the Pels was 23 versus 8 by the Wizards. And the Pels took this game and then they never looked back after that. And the win. Top scorer for the Pelicans, 24 from Trey Murphy in 29 minutes. 4 3-points for the 3-pointers from Trey. He was 7-14 from the field, perfect from the foul line. He threw in 5 boards and 4 assists and was actually, in the steal in there. He was plus 11 on the plus minus. The other top scorer, Sadiq Bey, continued to show a big 23 points in 29 minutes, 9 of 17 from the field. He was 50% from the foul line, 5 of 10, but he was a double-double guy tonight, 23 points, 10 boards, plus 15 for Sadiq Bey as he continues his strong play. Zion Williamson, 23 minutes, 20 points from Zion, acquired 20 tonight, 6 of 8, very efficient, 8 of 11 from the field, 2 rebounds and an assist. He was plus 3, 19 from DeJounte Murray, who continues to have strong game. DeJounte, 24 minutes tonight. He was 19 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 7 of 9 from the foul line, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He had 2 steals, plus 15 for DeJounte Murray. Herb in 17 minutes, 4 points, 2 boards, 3 steals from Herb Jones. And of course, off the bench, the Pelicans had several players that played in nice minutes. Jeremiah Fierce was the top guy there off the bench, 24 minutes, 18 points, 7 of 16 from the field, had a 3, was perfect from the foul line, 7 assists from Jeremiah with 5 rebounds and plus 5 from the young point guard tonight. He continues to really elevate game. 13 from DQ in 25 minutes, 5 of 9. He hit a 3-pointer tonight, 13 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, plus 17 from him. And then, of course, we had other guys like DeAndre Jordan got some minutes, 19 minutes. He had 2 points, 5 rebounds, and assists in the block, plus 8 by the veteran. And then we seen Eves get some action in 15 minutes, 2 points, a couple of boards, plus 15. He was in there. Had a couple of blocks as well, playing defense, rebounding, trying to do what he can do. We seen a Peavy sighting, 4 minutes, 2 points from him. Jordan Hawkins got some garbage time minutes, 4 minutes, 2 points from him, 2 from, and then of course you look at 4 minutes. Carlo Mekovic in 4 minutes had 5 points and 2 boards in 4 minutes. Carlo was out there trying to do some stuff. So Bryce McGowan's 23 minutes, 4 points, but he only took 2 shots. And he got 2 free throw attempts. He finished with a rebound and 3 assists, a steal, and a block. And he was plus 13 on the plus and minus. So the Pelicans did what they needed to do to take care of business against the Washington Wizards club. That kind of, just say they're just a bad team. And they're kind of stocking assets for the draft, as well as trying to build it up with Trey and AD and all this young talent. It'll be interesting to see what they do next year. They've accrued some really good talent there. Trey Johnson, the fantastic shooter, he had 20 points, 4 3-pointers from him on the night, 17 from Trey Young in the game, and 19 off the bench from Will Riley to kind of keep Washington as close as they could. But the Pelicans dominate. They get the win, and it's a positive. 21 victories for the Pelicans, and we have to keep mashing on because the next step to us, fam, moving forward is we got the Toronto Raptors coming up. That's right. The Raptors will get an opportunity to see our former player, Brandon Ingram. We'll see what B.I. is doing, and B.I. is doing a pretty damn good job with the Toronto Raptors. He's leading them in scoring. He's averaging 22 points a game on 47% shooting from the field. Him and Scotty Barnes, those guys are doing a fantastic job with Toronto, having them 36 and 27. They're in the mix in the Eastern Conference, and they're doing their thing, man. They're doing their thing. They're actually winning. And of course, a lot of the matchup indicator has this game literally a 50-50 game between them, and we'll see if the Pelicans, this is a good chance for them to kind of take care of business against this team. This is the first time we match up with the Toronto Raptors family this season. The next matchup won't come until late late March, the 27th to be precise, when we travel to Toronto to kind of complete the series. But this is what it is and how it is. We'll have an opportunity to take care of business. You look at the stats right now. With Toronto, you can see 22nd in points per game. The Pelicans are 17th. They're a top 8 team in terms of points per game, with the defense allowing them to stop you. So the Pelicans have to pay attention to that, as well as they are giving up 120.2. That's 27th in the game. 12th in field goal percentage. Pelicans ranked at 19. You can see the 3-pointers made is 25th. Pelicans is 27th. So we're right around same thing there. In terms of that, you can see the free throw percentage. They're 14th versus the Pelicans 11th. Rebound advantage goes to the Pelicans at 15th in the NBA versus 24th by the Raptors. They're a top 4 team in moving the ball. 29 assists per contest by the Toronto Raptors. That's 4th in the NBA. The Pelicans are 22nd. 8 in turnovers versus 13th by our Pelicans, single digits tonight. Them, and of course the steal game, as you guys can see, is 11th in terms of the steals for the Pelicans, 15th by the Raptors, and blocks per game, 16. Pelicans are 15 just ahead. We're currently on a 2-game losing streak to this team, man, and we need to take care of business, man, in a major capacity, and keep this thing going, because a sense of urgency has to set in with this team. And we need as many wins as we possibly can. And this seems like a win that they should get. Now, the Raptors are not juggernauts. They're 2-3 out of the last 5 games. Pelicans is the same thing, 2-3. So both of these teams have been up and down in their play over the last 5 contests, right? We've seen some losses, but to be honest with you, they lost to Dallas. And Dallas was a team that was on a 7-game losing streak. But Toronto lost 122-92 to the squad, and we have, regardless of what happened, the Pelicans are totally healthy. We have to take care of business the best way we know how against this Toronto team. So anyway, with that being said, man, let me see if I can pull up some of the rosters right here so you guys can see firsthand. They're actually pretty healthy coming in this game. Emmanuel Quickly, B.I., R.J. Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Pirtle is there as well, and you can see guys off the bench for the team. So if the Pelicans, they got to show up and show out, man. It's a home game. We got to take it to this team. We need it. We need to get this dub, fam. You know, as the season scrunch down, man, we got to be able to take care of business and get the victory against the Toronto Raptors. So what would it take? The keys to victory. They got to neutralize BI. Now the former Pell, now they primary scoring threat for the Raptors, the Pelican defense. Herb and others, they got to limit that mid-range efficiency. You know, BI is the midi master. Pelicans got to do a good job of kind of stopping that from happening. We got to slow that guy down. And of course, we got to control the rebound battle. Toronto features a deep rotation with players like Scotty Barnes and Colin Murray Boyles. Those guys can play. So the Pels must improve the defensive rebounding. They got to prevent a lot of those second chance points that they like to get as well. So that's the thing. Slowing down BI, stopping the and preventing second chance points, and controlling the rebound battle. We got to pressure the backcourt, right? We got to pressure Toronto's backcourt. We got Murray there, DeJounte Murray. We need to disrupt the rhythm of IQ. Emmanuel Quickly, who's a key facilitator in the Raptors offense. Those guys can score, they can move the ball, and they playing, and they're a pretty decent basketball team, man. They're well coached, and we have to be able to use our big guards to kind of disrupt what they got going on. And of course, we got to exploit the paint with Zion. The Raptors rely on these smaller mobile lineups, but Zion, he got to attack. You got to be aggressive and attack the rim with force against their bigs to draw foul, to get them into foul trouble. That's what we're going to have to do from that end. And we got to maintain bench energy. The Pelicans second unit with Jeremiah Fears led the day for them. We're going to need that up against teams like Toronto in a deep rotation. We got to be able to take it to these guys, man. So neutralizing BI and the rebounding, we got to control the rebounding battle, prevent those second chance points. We got to do something with Toronto's backcourt with IQ. The guy is fast. He can shoot the 3-pointer. He's very talented, especially how they utilize him with Bi and Scotty Barnes and these other guys. So we gotta slow that down. And then of course with Zion, we know they're gonna want to try to throw Scotty Barnes at him. We've seen this before with the Toronto Raptors. They try to put Scotty Barnes on Zion Williamson. You got to be aggressive, man. Zion's got to play with his head's on fire, man, and just take it to those guys every chance to get. And we're gonna need bench production. Jeremiah Fears. This is like the 5th or 6th game we hadn't seen Poole. I think everybody played except for Poole and Kayvon Looney tonight. They emptied the bench on this blowout win, and I said, okay, maybe we'll see a Poole sighting. No Poole sighting tonight. And I'm like, damn. So I don't know what's going on with that, but nonetheless, man, the bottom line is we got the win, and the Pelicans have to stockpile wins, as many wins as they possibly can going forward. That's just the long and short of it, fam. So anyway, let me show you guys the statistics or the stats of these guys and who's landing what. You can see right here that Bi 22 points a game in 34 minutes, 60 games. Can you know that, fam? Bi's played in 60 games for the Raptors this season. He started 60 and played in 60, man. That's pretty damn good for Bi. 34 minutes, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists a contest. He doing what he do. The second guy, Scotty Barnes, he averaging 19 points with 8 boards with Bi, and they turn out to be actually a pretty good tandem. And then, of course, R.J. Barrett, you throw him in there, and what he's doing, he's averaging 18 points, 5 boards, right? So these guys are actually, playing well together. And then, of course, IQ, Emmanuel Quickly, is averaging 32 and a half minutes per game, but scoring 17 plus. And then, of course, you see guys off the bench are good scorers, as Jacob Poeltl has 10 rebounds and 10 points and 7.5 boards. And you see other guys there as well. Sandro averaging 11 points off the bench. And like I said, this is going to be an interesting matchup for our team, because we got to slow these guys down, man. They coming to the Big Easy. The Pelicans have to build on wins. We need wins and more wins and some more wins again. Bottom line is it. All right, let's take a look at the remaining schedule that we have here, fam. As you can see, with 16 games that's remaining in our schedule between Wednesday, March the 11th and Sunday, April the 12th. Fam, it's coming down to it, man. 16 remaining games on our 82 game slate is remaining. We're in the home stretch, fam. Raptors up next on Wednesday, 7 p.m. tip-off time. Then later, the next game, we then travel to Houston. We got the Rockets. We got Dallas. Come back for 3 straight against Dallas. Then we got 2 back-to-back games against the Clippers. And then we got a home game against Cleveland. So we got 4 in the Smoothie King Center. And how many of those games do you think the Pelicans are going to win? So, I mean, it's not going to be tough. None of these games are going to be easy. I mean, you got Houston and all this kind of stuff. Cleveland, the Clippers, Dallas. We got to travel to New York, Detroit, Toronto, to take them on. And that's all winning teams, also plus 500 teams. We come home one time for Houston, then hit the road for Portland, who is a team that we need to start losing games, because really Portland occupies the final spot in the play-in. If any one of these teams are going to fall, for you to have a shot, if you're the New Orleans Pelicans, is Portland. So whatever you do on April the 2nd, you're going to have to take care of business in Portland against Portland. And then the next game, we have Sacramento. We come home for Orlando and Utah, and then travel to Boston to take on the Celtics in Minnesota 2 days later. And that'll be the last game of the regular season. So Borrego says he's still trying to figure it out. You ain't got no time for that, bro. You better learn some shit quick, fast, in a hurry. You better call Pop or call some people around the league. You better pick some basketball brains. Hell, all you have to do is call AD. That's what the hell he need to do. You need to offer Antonio Daniels a contract to get up off that damn bench talking about the game and help him in the game. For real, man. You got to learn some shit quick, man. And you talking about, we're trying to figure it out. About time you figure it out, the season's gonna be over with, man. You gotta pick it up, man. This dude acting like he ain't never seen none of these players before. Dog, you've been coaching these people some of these guys for as long as you've been here, for 3 years. You better figure that shit out fast. And then, of course, here go these standings, man. Let me show y'all the standings right here for the Western Conference, man. A lot of people say, Q, this ain't going to work. They ain't going to make it. As you can see where the Pelicans are at currently and where Portland is, fam, they're exactly, what is it, 10 games back of them? They're exactly 10 games behind Portland for the final spot in the play-in. They have 16 games remaining in the season. I say that's a chance. But the Pelicans they got to make it up in their mind to sell out in terms of just buy into everything and just play like their hair on fire, like for the rest of the season. The same way you kick ass against some of these bad teams, the same way. Well, they got a terrible record against sub 500 teams. They actually got a plus record against plus 500 teams. It's the craziest thing in the world, but it's the literal definition of dysfunctional basketball. But they do have a shot. They want a shot. They got a shot. 10 games exactly behind the Portland Trail Blazers, according to statistics. The Pelicans have 16 remaining. They meet Portland in one of those 16 games. A lot of the teams that we're going to match up against are the teams ahead of us. We got matchups with Clippers. We got one against Portland, right? We got Dallas. We got a couple of these teams that are ahead of us. Houston's on that list. Minnesota's on that list. We got teams on that list that we need to take care of business against. And if they handle business the correct way, it should afford them the chance to at least be in the play-in tournament, which is a bit of success to go from where they were as the worst team in the NBA to actually get into a play-in. That's an accomplishment. That is actually a pretty decent accomplishment. If you're James Borrego, it wouldn't save your job. Even if he gets to the playoffs, it won't save his job. But the bottom line is, if that's all you have to play for, you're the Pelicans, you're making a lot of money as players and as coaches. If that's all you can do, is all you can play for is a playing spot, to kind of at least salvage some pride for the flocking nation and not be a dumpster fire that we've been for so many years. I mean, if that's what you can reach for to accomplish, the hell, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. This dude Borrego act like he the only goddamn coaching the team. I mean, you got assistant coaches. What about Casey Hill? That's your top dude. Isn't Casey Hill his top dude? Didn't Casey Hill used to coach basketball teams before? Y'all get together, man, and figure this out. And figure this out in a hurry. All these people crazy. All right. Anyway, man, listen, that's all I got, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Jedi kind of said, what is y'all prediction? I'm still thinking 25. You thinking they'll just get to 25 wins, bro? Man, listen, man. That ain't gonna cut it, Jedi. That's not gonna cut it, man. Ain't gonna cut it. The people need it's at least 10 games, and really, truly, 10 games don't really guarantee you anything, man. You gotta hope that Portland and some of these other teams ahead of you also lose games. So they have to lose, and you have to win. You have to win. You do have a certain amount of control. If they win all 16 games, but they won't do because they never won anything over 5 games before, but they never been this healthy before. So it's an enigma. But based on the basketball I've seen the Pelicans play since this year and doing all of these shows, they're as up and down and around as they are. And like I said, talent isn't a problem with the Pelicans. It, to me, and I've been saying this, is coaching. Coaching limits the direction of how far this team can go. The coaching severely limits this team because the guy is flustered. He don't know what his lineups are in terms of what he wants to do. Yeah, you got a lot of versatility, but that's not good for a guy like Borrego. He don't know what to do with all this talent. I mean, like I've said, Jordan Poole's been out for sitting down for 5 or 6 games. He's actually healthy. You're going to need whatever he can bring in scoring production off the bench to help you get some of these games, That's the bottom line. The defense needs to improve, especially the transition defense has to improve. They still have to do better at the foul line, shooting there as well. And it's just overall the communication, both on the defense, more so on the defensive side, needs to improve for our Pelicans, man. Because when they really face teams that have this shit straight, not even elite level teams, but teams that are just solid teams, not even elite teams, but just solid teams, the Pelicans, undisciplined ways, they'll start turning over the ball, doing dumb shit, just like they did in the Suns game. Like if they had real high IQ, especially in clutch moments of time, they could have beat the Suns. They should have beat the Suns. But it goes to it, and I call it clutch IQ. Like when you're in the middle of the clutch moments of the game, you don't turn the damn ball over when you have an opportunity to actually win. When you get to the foul line, you don't go 1 for 2. When you know you right there, you got to hit those shots. If you're gonna hit, free throws, make sure you hit them in the clutch moments. You got to do stuff like that. And sometimes I just see the Pelicans as a team that just they too comfortable and cool with the alternative, like losing. They're not disappointed. Like when the Pelicans lose these games, they're not collectively disappointed to the point where they get pissed off to do something about it. Not as a collective. We might see a few people put their head down, but that should disappear and they back to joking and clowning. It ain't no time for class clowns and bullshit like that when you're a 21 win team and a laughing stock in the NBA. You have an opportunity to redirect the direction of your team. All this clowning and joking bullshit need to go head on. Y'all need to use whatever energy y'all got to learn how to play better defense and communicate. That's the bottom line. That's what I see, and that's how I see it. So in the end, we'll see how it go, man, and see if these people can collect and get their stuff straight, man, in the clutch time moments of the game. Jedi say, understand, Cuba, we hard teams against. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, what's up, Mary Kay? I haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Definitely coaching. Why are we still watching C go hang out in the corner behind? I don't know, Mary Kay. I've asked that question over and over again. I know Antonio Daniels be watching them games, and they got Zion spread out behind the 3-point line. He hit 1-3 several games back, but that's not what he does. He doesn't have a consistent mid-range shot. He's terrified as hell to shoot the 3-pointer, and I don't get the lineup, but it simply is. Well, that's a coaching thing. That's a coaching thing, and I think that's one of the reasons. Bird Talk said it ain't over until the fat professor sing. That's right. I think it's the fat lady sing or something, right? Something have to do with the whatchamacallit. What's up, Maul? All right. Oh, okay. Shout out to you, Mary Kay. That's all right. I wish I could miss a couple of these damn things, man, but I'm committed. I like my team. RJ says still healthy scratch for Poole. Yeah, I don't get it, man. I really don't understand that. Shout out to you, RJ. I don't get that. Man. I really don't. I don't understand the Jordan Poole scratch. We won tonight, but in some of these games, I often wondered, like for the Suns, we barely lost the Suns game, but could Jordan Poole, a guy that's an instant bucket for us, would have helped in the game? And he was doing actually pretty good in the games he was playing, and then they just DMP'd him. And I've never seen ever in all my years watching basketball, you have a $30 million player who gets benched like this. 34 Bryce McGowan's a guy. I know Bryce just trying to sign a contract with the Pels, but I guarantee you it ain't nowhere near what Jordan Poole making. And even if you looking to trade him, you still got to play him. So I don't understand none of that. I've never seen that before, fam. Never seen that before. If a man making $30 million, that means he can play. And if he's struggling, it's because he's not getting no consistent minutes. You don't just bench the guy. Then even in garbage time minutes, he don't see you get Jordan Hawkins in there and Peavy. I mean, guys buried on a depth chart. You don't get your $30 million player. I don't understand that. But whatever you're trying to do in a positive way for the rest of the season has to have Jordan Poole connected to it. Whether you're going to trade him or not, the dude got to play, man. So like I said, Borrego said and I told y'all before, I said, this guy don't know what he's doing. These lineups are an issue. He can go 5 deep, but he's trying to keep it 9 deep because he got to have a certain amount of discipline to stick to the roles. And I said, fam, he has to find out the roles for these players before he even said that, because you can see he don't know what the roles are for the players off the bench. Who's his closer? Who's the closer for this? Who's your closer? We seen Sadiq Bey in times like Sadiq Bey just take it. It's no order to the Pelicans offense, fam. They're just playing basketball at times. Like you got guys, who's the top option for the Pelicans? Whoever got the ball at that time is in it. You know what I'm saying? Some teams have option 1, option 2, option 3. They got options. It's whoever wants to shoot the ball at the time is the guy that handles the rock and shoot it. You can have guys here or there. Whoever got the ball, guy will try to press and get it. I seen Young Fears do it. I see Sadiq Bey do it. And I've seen players that make significantly less money just totally ignore the 30 million, $20 million players. It's no rhyme or reason to what he's doing. So it's no reason why you sit up here with 21 wins. Most teams are organized. It's all about, they call them organizations because they're supposed to be organized. A lot of these teams are organized. They know the priority of what guy needs to do what. They know who their closers are. They know who their defensive people are, what roles that they play in. They have the lineups. At this point, family, the lineups, the starting five and the bench rotations are solidified. They crystallize. They got an idea of what to do and how to do it. Pelicans, now you can kind of give them a little grace because certain guys have come back from injury. So that's one thing, but still in all, you're supposed to still have certain things figured out. Even with DeJounte Murray coming back into the lineup, other players, you've been having them healthy for a while in the season. And for guys to literally fall off the map in terms of who's supposed to be playing like Jordan Poole, I don't get none of that. That's why I said we got a limited head coach, an interim coach, by the way, just an interim coach. He's limited in his coaching acumen. No disrespect. He's a terrific assistant, but when it comes down to being a player, that's a coach rather, to kind of take this team and take them to the next level, man, please, man. That he's gonna have to figure this out very fast. All right, he says, yeah, you damn right. Pooh hadn't been on the minutes. He needs to be in the minutes. All right, yeah. Bertall says, Pell's playing, he playing 2K. Yeah, you know what? I played a little 2K a couple of days ago and messed around and got the Pelicans to win a championship, y'all. Y'all know that? I was playing 2K and messed around and got the Pelicans to win a championship. That's right. On 2K. That's crazy work. But in real life, even the computer don't believe how asinine the Pelicans is. Really, I believe, family, to be honest with you, the Pelicans should have, at the very least, a record similar to the team they play in, the Toronto Raptors, to be honest with you. The Raptors, they're not 16-46. This is actually wrong. The Raptors' record is they are 36-27. So, yeah, it's 16-46. That's wrong. It's 36-27. I really think that at the very least, that's the record the Pelicans should have at this time. So, yeah, he says Z dominant. Yeah. He said, I wish. Yeah, I know. I messed around and actually got him to win a championship. But you know what I did? I fired the coach. I started messing with the training. No, on 2K, it's real intricate. For my people that never played 2K before, it's real intricate, right? You can set the training schedules. You can, it's real intricate. You can set what they train, individual and team training schedules. You can adjust the coaching philosophy on there. You can control the tempo, and then you can kind of condition them to play, to work on certain things. Like when they're during the training regiments, you can get them to work on, you can get them to do film study. You can get them to do scrimmages. You can control the tempo of the scrimmages. If there's low, medium, or high scrimmages, you can do I forgot what it's called when you do when they build camaraderie as a team. All that's there. So you can set all of that, do all this kind of stuff, and then as a general manager, then you'll start, people will be calling you and talking to you. You're in the office building with the owner and the head of the scout department and all these different people. And at times when you start doing your thing, they all coming to you, asking you what to do. You control the ticket prices. You can control the renovation of the practice facilities. All this is very intricate. And I just took my time and I was able to build them up and actually got them to win a championship. I actually did. And I didn't trade for anybody. It was the same damn team. The team we have right now. I didn't add anybody to it. It's the same team. And I was able to win a championship with that team. That's crazy work. But anyway, the bottom line is at some point we will have to figure out when the season is over with, and with 16 games remaining, they have to win at least 10 of those games, fam. At least 10. And 10 doesn't guarantee you that you're going to make it because, like I said, Portland is the team that's out. As you can see on your schedule, you can see for yourself. Portland is 4-6 the last 10 games. You look at the Clippers. The Clippers are also a team that's fighting for it, but you would have to have these teams to start falling out and losing games, and then you would have to gain ground. So if the Pelicans win 16 games in a row, which is impossible in my book for them to do it because they're just too inept, and they're not really attention focused like they need to be, and there's no real sense of urgency, an elevated, heightened sense of urgency. But if they win 10 games, or out of the 16, that'll make them 31 win team. Which I still think that puts you on the outskirts. You would have to win at least with 16 left. I'm talking 12, 13 games with an era of 3 losses here or there. And then you have to pray that the teams ahead of you start tanking out, falling out so you can have a shot. So it's a lot that has to go your way to get it. But how serious are you in accomplishing your end is the question, right? That's what I'm saying. So anyway, man, I don't know. It's been a real crazy season for us as Pel supporters, man. So I can understand why Mary Kay, sometimes just dip away, be like, yeah, whatever, because it could be depressing, man. It could really be kind of depressing on you. Yeah. Young Killer. Yeah. She said, did you leave leave? No. No, individually, what you do in terms of like the individual training with them is that you get them to work on certain aspects of their game. And during the training period, I had Z to exclusively start working on outside work, like working on shooting his jumper more. And you can actually do that on that. And that's crazy that our coaches don't promote that, man, to kind of work on just doing the jump shot. I know he got the little floater that he likes to use about 4 or 5 feet out at times. But, coaching Zion got his inside game is very good. But if he can just really focus on those other aspects to his game, I think that could really be a game changer as well. So it's crazy, man, but we'll see how it works going forward, man. And see if the Pelicans can accomplish it. 6 games, all we got, fam. We got up to April the 12th before it's all said and done. Young Kaluna says 15 because the Portland is not taking 10 L's. We'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, all they can do is win, fam. It's gotten to a point where they put themselves in a very stupid position, man. They done lost 45 games this year, fam. They done lost 45 games this year. 45 games. We got 16 remaining, man. Any room they got to lose should be gone. And they got to have a game-by-game approach. That's the bottom line. But if they want to do something, they have an opportunity. The thing is, I just don't know about this team. They're just the seriousness, the urgency, the intelligence of the coaching staff, slow to everything, learning everything. It might be too much for this real suspect mix of coaches to figure out to do. It might be us asking them to do something that they're totally not capable of doing, fam. You got to also think about that too. Just because you have the resources don't mean you got the intelligence to use them in the proper way, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so with that being said, I'm going to get out on that. I appreciate y'all spending y'all valuable time here on PPR, man. Pelicans handle business in a major capacity tonight. They smashed down on the Washington Wizards 138-18. They closed the regular season series with the Wizards 2-0. We open up a new regular season series coming up against the Toronto Raptors. That'll be on Wednesday. The Raptors, B.I. returns to the city of New Orleans. He's their top scorer. It's going to be fun watching B.I. return. Can the Pelicans do anything about that to slow him down? We shall see. So anyway, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Big Q representing the flocking nation, man. We appreciate y'all, as always, for showing support, man. And I'll be back later on the next one. Much love, peace, and go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network. For all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. Going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat. I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Switch, post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever, Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.